joining me tonight on our live.
Thanks for having me.
We've got 3 people joining us. 2 of them are probably us, but I also have Leo. And so last week we were talking about box turtle hibernation, really, no, properly brumation. And this is the first year that I've ever tried to brumate box turtles, really. It's the first year I've had them. And, I talked to you last fall about how to do it. And you taught me your outside technique. And my soil is just a little too hard and a little too clayey. And I didn't have time to really do what I needed to do to get that done.
Amend the soil.
Yeah. So I have them inside. 4 of them. This is Leo. He's not been brumated in decade plus. So I didn't want to do that with him. But
has he been slowing down?
No, he's been pretty much the same. Yeah. He does not seem to have any real notice that anything is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, so talk to me about box turtle brumation, how you do it. Give some tips, advice. We just love to learn.
Okay. So I use a number of ways. For a long time, I just brumated outside, where you're going to have some losses, which is natural. You're going to have losses in nature, and not all turtles make it to brumation. But I really thought that there's ways I could do it better. So I have done the bucket in the garage. A big Tupperware container full of halfway full of dirt, sphagnum moss, and with holes put in the box. Put that in the garage or in the attic, and I've had good success with that. I think that's a great way anyone can do. Last year, I was blessed to inherit Tess Cook. She's written some books on box turtles.
Oh yeah,
and I inherited her group of box turtles.
Oh wow!
And her husband's ingenious. He's a brilliant guy. He had built this brumation box that's made out of 3/4 inch plywood, about 3 foot by 2.5 foot by 2.5 foot, with a nice lid that comes down. And it's lined, and it has 2 ceramic heated mirror light bulb, and a thermostat. And if the temperature drops below, I got it at 33 degrees. If it drops below that, it'll start raising the temperature. It's a really safe way, which is her goal. So I can fit. So in there, I'll put them, basically like just a shoebox full of sphagnum moss, and stack them up in there. And I can hold about 15 to 16 turtles in that, which helps out quite a bit. I like doing my Chinese bark turtles in there.
Okay.
It gives me a little bit safer range.
Yeah.
So that's in the garage.
So the thing that we really were talking about last week was temperature. And so there's this magic temperature range where, you don't want to freeze them, I imagine.
Yeah.
But they also can't be too warm.
Right. All turtles have some sort of biologic load in them, naturally. In bad conditions, that's where you start seeing those levels fluctuate, and they've got a bad bio load. That's where you start getting a lot more worms come in. In those in between temperatures, between where they're going to be active and where they're brumating, that's the flourish area for those, the bad things that we don't want to grow inside our turtles. Their immune system's going to be suppressed. They're not going to be able to fight anything. They're not being able to warm themselves during the day, get everything flowing like it should. So it's actually between, about 34 to 38 degrees that they really should be kept at for brumation. I like 37. I think that's a great temperature to shoot for. And if there's a wine cooler, a lot of people have done that. I've done it as well. I like to run an airline when I do it, in a fridge or a wine cooler. fresh air coming in. But 37 degrees is great for any
Yeah.
box turtle.
And so you actually have this chamber where you can set it
Mm-hmm.
to that range. Wow, that's pretty cool. The so what my setup basically, I've got a garage. It's insulated, and so I was like, well, let's give this a try. Um, the garage actually has a heater. It has a gas heater in it, but we had never
Mm-hmm.
used it. So just before Christmas, it went down to like -2.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
remember.
so the temperatures in the garage were getting low. And
Yeah,
that's when I was like, okay, it's time to use this heater. And so I set it to 40 degrees.
yeah,
So I probably could bring it down to about 36 and
yeah,
be perfectly okay.
yeah. And that's so a lot of people have that same problem. We live in the Midwest. It's going to get really
Yeah.
cold for us.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily we need to cool, our turtles to a certain degree. It's we got to keep them above a certain.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
garage isn't insulated. So in my garage, I had to wall off half my garage side. So my wife still can park in the garage, but I
Yeah.
have built a room in the garage that's insulated,
Okay. Yeah.
so that I can, at least, control temperatures a little bit better. Otherwise, I'd be all over the place. And part of it, it's drywalled and insulated. The other part's just visqueen, and that the visqueened area is where I brumate. A lot of things. I've got my diamondback terrapins in there, my painted turtles, map turtles, mud turtles. That's what I'm brumating out there with, along with some box turtles. But that's a lot easier to control the temps, even with just a visqueen brush.
So what do you have outside as far as box turtle species go right now?
I've got Eastern box turtle, Terrapin Carolina, Carolina, ornate box turtle, um, Terrapin ornata ornata, Florida box turtle, Terrapin ornata Boweri, and I've got some Chinese box turtles outside as well
Wow.
that I wasn't able to get.
That's cool. So you're about 40 degrees latitude, uh, if memory serves.
Yeah, you're a little bit higher than me.
Yeah, I'm higher, but we used to be pretty right on the
Right,
same
when you were in
when I
Columbus?
when I lived in
Yeah.
Columbus. Um, I just have we have a lot more space here,
Yeah.
and so I'm able to talk about at least increasing my collection. So yeah, we are cold, but you know maybe if it's 35 where you are, it might be 30 here. And that's a big difference. I have these three-toed box turtles, right? So I guess
Hmm.
that's my concern. Is yeah, they're from Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, Missouri.
You
Um,
would be very surprised how cold hardy they are. Mine
yeah,
stay out
yeah,
year round.
yeah.
My
That's
three
good.
toes stay out year round. I don't know if I said that earlier, but yeah, I've got my three toe outside.
Yeah. Um, so I, for me, that's great, right? Because I can keep three toads in Ohio without getting a
Any
license for
permit.
Fish and
Yep.
Wildlife. We can keep box. I can keep eastern box turtles, and that's
Right.
something I'd love to potentially work on with you in the future if you had eastern box turtles, and I have to just take the plunge and get the license if I ever did that. Um, but yeah, I've always just kind of thought, well, probably Easterns would be better outside. But after talking to you, I might be a little bit more confident to put in the work next year to prepare a site to try to brumate these guys outside.
Yeah. So the way I do it with my three toe box turtles, um, I actually get one of those portable greenhouses, the plastic ones with the metal frame, um,
Okay.
that's 3 foot by 6 foot.
Okay.
And I actually put that inside of their enclosure. But before that, I'll pile up. Initially, it'll be grass clippings and leaves, and I'll mulch the leaves, which helps it break down faster. So I'll do mulch leaves and green grass clippings, layer that first, foot or so, and then on top of that, I'll do leaves, and then on top of that, I'll do a bale of hay or bale of straw. And I'll pile that up, and then I'll end up I'll put the greenhouse in, I'll open it up, and then throw straw on top of it, and I'll see them come out on 28, 30-degree days, and they'll come up to the top of it.
That is so cool. Do you have a thermometer in there somehow that you're able to know what the temperature is?
Oh yeah. I don't have. It's actually, I keep it. It's just a Bluetooth one, and it's actually right above my home thermostat. I've got it to the wall right above my home thermostat.
So you're looking at that, you're monitoring it, and so what?
And it's got a sensor too, so it'll beep if it gets below a certain temperature.
Interesting. When do you get concerned? At what temperature?
I mean, when we got that cold temp earlier this year, I was concerned. I mean, it took everything I had not to go out there and start digging, but I didn't. And we've had warm days since, and I've gone out and checked. They're all fine. You know, it's nerve wracking. And that we got negative 16, 17 degrees with wind chill for several days here.
It was really cold and really windy.
But you know, I never worry about the eastern box turtles. I have a great population of eastern box turtles, right around my house. I mean, I can walk right outside, and within a couple hours during the spring or something, I'll probably find them.
That's awesome.
So if they're handling it, you know, mine are gonna handle
it. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's see here. I got a message. Oh, that's my wife sent me something. So, well, that's awesome. So, you know, I will let everyone know where my turtles are. So, so Drew and Lou, yes, trust, exactly. Trust and experience, and that's where I just wasn't at that point yet to do outdoor hibernation, but I'd like to get there. So what? You keep a lot of different box turtles, not just box turtles that are cold tolerant. Why box turtles? What do you like about them?
Oh, so you know, you just mentioned, you know, wanting to maybe talk to the state and get the permit program. Before I actually started my nonprofit and opened a sanctuary for turtles, I was just a normal keeper, and I kind of wanted to help out because there's really there's Marty LaPierre, who's local to me, who's a rehabilitator, and she's kind of she's getting older. She wants to retire. I knew there wasn't very many people working with DNR and helping with injured turtles or confiscations. So, you know, I'd already had my permit, and they had known that I was kind of interested. So once they got word that I started the nonprofit, they just started dumping turtles on me. You know, anytime, because in Indiana you have to have a permit for any of the subspecies. It doesn't matter what species of box turtle it is. It's not difficult. I mean, they do a home inspection. They make sure you've got everything set. Until last year, you did have to keep males and females separate. Now there's a propagation permit, which is actually really cool. It allows us to have the option to give any of the hatchlings that we do hatch back to the state, in the hopes that they'll get released from the state ecologist. Nate, great guy. That's a really cool program they're looking at with Landing's turtles, spotted turtles, a lot of ornate box turtles northwest of us.
That
once
just
they
blows
find out
my
you're a
mind.
turtle person.
That northwest corner of Indiana has some amazing.
Well, how it has those? Yeah, it's neat. Now there's actually a relic. There's a relic population. I don't want to say where it's at.
No, I know.
Yeah, but there's a relic population more towards central Indiana, in between central and northern Indiana.
Wow.
That not a lot of people know about, but it's it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
there's a couple spots like that.
That is so cool.
As well.
when I lived in Columbus, I kind of felt like I was, sort of west and plains. Up here, it's all northeast. It's very much
Yeah.
but so that really got you really interested in the box turtles, working with
Yeah.
DNR, doing rehab,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
And
rescues.
talking to classes and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Having initially it was with the Picta and the painted turtles. Having
Okay.
an Eastern, a Midland,
Yeah.
a Western. Still looking for a Southern. I'd love to take Southern and be able to show all of them. And
Yeah.
so that was kind of my thought with box turtles as well. I've already started getting enough confiscations, and I've almost got all the taxa. Let's fill in where I'm missing, and I was able to luckily. I don't want to say his name if he doesn't want me to say it, but I met
Yeah.
an awesome guy at TTPG that gifted me a 2.3 Cahulan box turtle hatchlings, which I can't buy. They're ESA,
Yeah.
species. So, the fact that I was able to get those was just insane. So
Awesome.
I'm really enjoying them. And then Jeff Barrett, who was on TTPG's last week,
Yep. Yep.
was
Friday
able
night.
to he was able to get me some captive bred Yucatan boxers.
Cool.
So I've got two of those. They both look female. So I'd love to find a male for those. But yeah, I just love the genus. There's so much to love about them.
Yeah, they're neat. They're really neat turtles. I grew up with them, pretty much ornates and three toads in the pet store. Um, Drew and Lou, our yearling triangles are 100% aquatic environment, but then it faded. So let me see if I
Yeah.
can bring that comment or question up. We can talk about it. I've got my iPad here that I should monitor the chat with that. But so how many taxa of box turtle taxa do you have?
Of North American, all but Nelsinii
Yeah,
and
the
Mexicana.
Terrapena. How many?
Yeah. All of them except for Mexican box turtle and spotted box turtle.
That's right. Uh, does anybody have the spotted box turtle in the United States? Is that in
Yeah.
culture? Is it?
Yeah. There are a few. They've mainly started out as. All of them have started out as smuggled turtles.
Yeah,
Same with
pretty much
Mexicana.
every reptile, like half the
Right.
reptiles that
Same thing with the Yucatan. Any of the ones from Mexico were originally started out as smuggled turtles, and they they've had good success with them. A lot, some of them have been confiscations that have gotten into the hands of good people. Like Chris Leone gets a lot of
Yeah,
confiscated turtles. He's able to breed them. That's awesome. That's more
yeah,
into the potential pool for other people to start breeding and working.
yeah,
That's the same thing. I'm hoping. Obviously, I'm not going to be taking in anything I feel sketchy.
yeah, yeah,
So I won't be seeking any adult Mexican box turtle or spotted box turtle. But if I have somebody that I trust that finds some captive bred,
yeah.
that's where it's
Yeah,
at.
that's
We
not
got
something you get on Craigslist. The Mexican
right
box.
no, and yeah, that it's not even something you find in the classifieds. I mean, that's
Um,
something you're going to find out word of mouth
yeah,
through.
but if you did, you wouldn't want to buy it.
Right. No. Yeah. If you see
It's
it in the
not
classifieds,
legal
you don't want to buy it. That's
on Craigslist.
chances are that's going to be a DNR visiting your house.
Yeah, yeah.
So fishing
Drew and Lou
game.
says, okay, so Drew and Lou said they were inspired by how you are keeping your Flavo Marginata. At what size would you introduce them to a 50-50 environment?
All right. Give me 1 second. So these guys are still full aquatic right now. I'll probably this guy will probably go out by the end of next year or by the end of summer. I'll keep him. I'll overwinter him again up. I'll keep him awake next winter. But by that time, I'll switch him to 50-50.
Cool.
So, I've got some Cora ambonensis philippi. They're still a little bit smaller. They're the same age as those. But I'll probably keep them aquatic a little bit longer. I don't have any adults of them. Those are actually TSA turtles on loan from the TSA, but they seem to be more aquatic. My ambonensis cameronas are more aquatic, so I tend to keep.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any idea really if someone dropped a Cora in my hands what it needs. That's totally foreign to me. So it's really interesting to learn.
Okay. Well, so let me take this with you real quick and show you.
Yeah, let's take a look at how you have it. That's awesome.
Right in here, I've got a Cora flava macchiata right down there. But it's cohabbing with a Florida box turtle, Cahulan box turtle, Eastern box turtle, three-toe. So as far as care for them, it's the same. I mean, now that doesn't necessarily apply to all of the Cora. I definitely wouldn't put an Mahodi opsti or.
Those are not Cora, by the way. That's a joke, but they should still be Pixidia.
Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, see, they are different. They're different.
To me, they're just big. To me, they're just big Spangler eye.
Yeah,
they really are. Anthony Pierleone told me that, and ever since I'm like that. I can't get that out of my head now.
That's fun.
So I've got one opsti. I've got the three Asian box turtles, Cora flava macchiata, opsti, Mahoidi opsti, and then ambonensis. So
in college, my college professor and the director of our field station, he would get the Glades Herp list every month, and he got a pair of Pixidia, and one had horrible shell rot. And we love you, Anthony.
That's right.
We love
you, Anthony,
and we love your art. But I now understand why this female had such bad shell rot right above her head, because the males are like clawing at her. But I cleaned her up and got that infection stopped. So neat turtle. That is the only Cora species that I've had in my hands. Well, no, really? I'll take that back. Probably a pet shop, a Chinese box turtle. Maybe I've had them, but the conversion evolution is incredible, right? We now know they're not related. They're not closely related. We used to think they were, right? There's a lot of plants, for example, that maples in Asia and maples in China, but no, they're not related. So, turtle.
I do not. Yeah. I do have success with Missouri aquatic turtle, croc chow, Missouri croc chow, Zoomed, and Aquamax. For hatchlings, I'll do Omega 1 for North American box turtle. I really like the North American or the Omega 1 hatchling. But man, North American woods, they really don't mess with any of those greens until they're sub-adults almost, I feel. And really then they're really focusing on just fruits. If it's red, strawberries, raspberries.
Yeah, I'm just
now.
checking. Yeah,
one thing that I do.
You do?
I do. And actually, Anthony and I were talking about this in a group the other day, and making a turtle mash. And I do that for my box turtles, but I do that for my North American woods, for my Spangler eye, and I even do that for my hingebacks. They actually really like my box turtle mash.
Nice. Yeah,
and it's a perfect mix for them. And that's how I'll get green leaf lettuce in. And I'll add that to the food processor and grind that up, mix it with pellets. And actually, Jeff Kasparik, who I respect a ton, talk about box turtles. That guy,
he's a
he's gonna have a
Clevelander,
book.
by the way.
He's gonna have a book, man.
Yeah, he's from Cleveland.
Yeah,
I just want to point that out.
I love
Jeff. He's not really from Arizona, so
right. Yeah,
he's born in Cleveland.
So he actually brought up a good point the other day.
He's here.
Hey, Jeff. He brought a good point the other day using fish oil, and that will get them to just demolish a lot of stuff. So that's I'm going to try that here this next week with my next round of feeding when I make a next round of mash. Add a little fish oil to it, and I don't mind the smell. Those Buckeyes. That's
the Buckeyes.
Right.
I don't live in Columbus
I'm originally
anymore,
from
so
Cincinnati.
I don't need to pretend that I like Ohio State anymore because I don't live in Columbus, but I did for 18 years. And
you pretended?
I mean, I didn't pretend, but I mean, maybe I did. Maybe.
I don't follow sports. I couldn't. My wife was joking the other day. We couldn't name a single NFL player.
Yeah, I quit the NFL this year, but
I did decades ago.
Yeah, good.
I
told Ryan Dumas that this was my least stressful fall in a long time.
Good.
I could spend more time with the turtles, which, as we all know, is mostly calming and relaxing. So what I love about the box turtles is that they stay small. Except the Gulf Coast, right? They get huge.
Yeah. I've only got hatchlings of those juveniles.
Yeah. So they're big. Yeah. But did you go to the 2019 TTPG talk? Or
no.
Conference?
2020.
So,
or 21.
The 2019, Dave and Jeremy gave the talk on hingebacks, and Dave Mifsud, he has this awesome slide where he essentially has all the box turtles on one side and all the hingebacks on the other. And he compares.
Does he really?
Yeah, he's like, okay.
Oh, I've got to get that.
Zombensis equals three toads.
That's funny.
Like Lobatiana equals Nelson's. I don't remember exactly the matchup, but I have that on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to get Jeremy and Dave to look at it.
Yeah.
Get their blessing to make it public. Right. And then I will ask Russ. But that talk has so much great information. And hingebacks, box turtles, I think they're a great pair. You can easily keep
African
them together. Turtle, so I think Homiana and Arosa are a little bit more like wood turtles, but I've never kept a wood turtle. But they've got those. They both have really long legs. So
yeah, I'm flying quite a bit.
Okay, well, this has been great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I like to keep them at about 30 minutes, just real quick chats, and I'll let you get back to your turtle keeping. But thanks everyone for joining us.
Yeah, guys.
Let us know if you like this, and maybe we'll do it more often in this format.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I got some people you can have on.
Cool.
I got a whole list.
Yeah, just a quick drop in.
Yeah. No, it's really good. It's a perfect midweek thing.
Cool. Wednesdays at 8. I'll be doing something. So, okay, guys, thanks for joining. We appreciate it. Have a good one.
See ya.
For the turtles. That's my new saying. Thanks, Matt.